Hi, my name is Joseph from Mental Health Europe, and today we're going to be discussing how our new digital world can impact your mental health, what to look out for, and how to try and avoid some of the more common pitfalls. The rise of social media and its algorithms, the thrills and abuses of video games and online gambling, and the pitfalls of remote working or studying have changed our relationship with technology. Today, young adults will spend approximately over 7 hours watching a screen, which provides a good amount of entertainment, informative content, and distraction. But could it be doing more harm than good? Social media has become a mainstay in our modern society, from a way to keep in touch with friends to a way of getting news that matters to you from halfway across the world. But beyond this connectivity and education lies a darker reality. Social media creates a culture of comparison, where social media influencers, be it fitness or lifestyle, present a curated and filtered experience that may lead you to develop unrealistic expectations of what your own existence should look like. On the flip side of this, you may find yourself posting to boost your sense of self-esteem, which regularly triggers a cycle of seeking for the instant gratification that accompanies the likes, comments, and interactions. Ultimately, the social media platforms we use today are purpose-built to maintain your attention and engagement via their algorithms, thereby generating more income for the platform, regardless of your own well-being. The culture of comparison, the addictive nature of self-esteem boosts, and the predatory algorithms lead us to a vicious cycle of FOMO and open the door to cyberbullying. Another major problem we find ourselves frequently engaged in is doom scrolling. This usually comes about as a result of the constant feed of negative news from worldwide events that dominate the news cycle. To make matters worse, it can often be difficult to break away from these, as we may feel guilty for not paying attention to tragedies. This cycle can lead to overwhelming anxiety. The often anonymous and detached nature of social media has unfortunately given rise to cyberbullying. This can be an incredibly unpleasant experience, ranging wildly from taunting messages, unwarranted sexting, posting revenge porn, or stealing someone's online identity. These actions can bring us overwhelming feelings of fear and shame. So what should we be on the lookout for? Some major red flags would be lengthy scrolling sessions that leave you feeling unfulfilled or worse than you felt before, feeling the pressure to look or act a certain way, either online or in person, and an overwhelming anxiety over missing notifications, engagement, or the latest trend. Video games can provide engaging and entertaining fun, alone or with friends, or simply an outlet to escape and relieve stress. For many, it can form long-lasting bonds with people from across the globe. Even been found that certain games can enhance your cognitive skills and provide stress relief. However, as anyone that has played games can confirm, it isn't without its risks. Excessive gaming can lead to social isolation, sleep deprivation, and neglect of responsibilities. Additionally, microtransactions and gambling mechanisms that have become all too pervasive in today's games can create financial stress and addiction. So, what red flags should you look out for when gaming? If you start regularly using games as an emotional escape rather than a fun hobby, it can become an unhealthy coping mechanism. If you regularly lose track of time while gaming and skip out on essential responsibilities such as school or work, or if you begin spending excessive amounts of money on in-game purchases and things like loot boxes. In recent years, and especially since COVID, our workplaces have become increasingly digital. This was initially seen as a great positive for many, with increased comfort that comes from working from home, as well as other benefits, such as a lack of commute time. However, as we've progressed, the cracks have started to show, starting with a blending of the boundaries between work and your personal life. It has also become increasingly difficult to disconnect. Digital fatigue as a result of endless online meetings has also become a pervasive problem. It has also become far too common for employees to feel pressured into being accessible around the clock. This can cause a great deal of stress and anxiety. Loneliness is also a common problem for remote workers and students, with many feeling an increased isolation. Many also report that remote work can often lead them to missing out on opportunities and promotions that may come about more organically in person. So, what should you look out for to know that working remotely has become a problem for you? The first is your immediate time boundaries. Do you find yourself regularly working past your contractual hours or checking emails late at night? Are you feeling the pressure to respond to emails and requests immediately out of fear that you may appear to be slacking or away from your workstation? Are the lines between your work life and personal life beginning to blur as a result of using your personal space, such as your bedroom or living room, as a workspace? In the new digital world, the rising currency is your very own data. How you browse, what you linger on, and what gets you to engage. These are all very important data points for both the platforms that seek to keep you engaged for as long as possible, and the advertisers that are looking to get you to buy their product via targeted ads. As such, being careful what personal information we share on platforms, especially if we don't know how it will be used, is critical to protecting your privacy and data security. AI, another rising star of the modern world, was a promised fix for all of our woes. However, there is a rising concern that AI, when applied to data management and even mental health support, may in fact be detrimental to us. So what can we do about all of this? Well, ultimately, ensuring that the algorithms work with you instead of against you, your data privacy being safeguarded, and many other issues mentioned in this video are in fact the responsibility of your legislators. For now, we can suggest 3 different ways you can act to make a change: helping drive the bigger picture, acting local, and ensuring your own personal safety. First, we can look at the most important and impactful change that needs to happen, the one that happens at the systemic level. This is obviously not something we are expecting you personally to take on. A systemic change is a colossal and often very slow process. However, the good news is that some organizations have already begun this process. Organizations such as Mental Health Europe, the European Youth Forum, and Eurojouth Mental Health advocate for better policies in protecting young people online across Europe. Other organizations, such as Eurochild, the 5 Rights Foundation, and Digital Futures for Children, also work on pushing for policies aimed at protecting children online. You can also explore various campaigns that are aimed at raising awareness for such issues, like the Dove Self-Esteem Project, that aims to address the crisis of anxiety over body image online. If you feel inspired by any of these organizations, or do feel like you would want to get involved in systemic changes, many of these organizations welcome the input of young people who are looking to get involved. You can find their contacts on their respective websites that we will include in the description below. Change, of course, doesn't only need to be global. We can also make changes in our very own communities. These could be your schools, workplaces, or local governments, which can all take steps in addressing the issue. Examples of how your local communities might be able to make a difference could be a digital literacy program, say in your school or university, digital well-being policies such as phone-free zones, or local libraries or community centres can host events to help people unplug and reconnect. Local youth organisations may also be able to provide more information into what is available for you in your community. And finally, the most immediate short-term change can start with you, minimizing the negative impacts the digital world has on your mental health. You can develop digital literacy skills. This might involve a better understanding of how digital platforms use algorithms to shape your behavior and keep you engaged beyond a healthy limit. You can also create healthy boundaries through digital detoxes, setting screen time limits, and being mindful of social media use. Establishing screen-free zones, such as your bedroom, setting hard boundaries between your hybrid job and your personal life. Cyberbullying can often be a deeply humiliating experience, and trying to prevent it from happening can feel impossible. You aren't alone in this. If you are on the receiving end of cyberbullying of any kind, it's important to report these to the platform, as all forms of cyberbullying are usually against the terms of service. These reports also help platforms in better preventing future infractions, which can help them become safer places for everyone. However, you can also reach out to a trusted adult or peer here to discuss what is happening and how it is impacting you. A very important thing to remember is that many forms of cyberbullying, such as stealing someone's online identity or posting revenge porn, not only violate platform guidelines, but they are also in fact illegal and should be reported to the relevant authorities. It's also important to be mindful of how our own behavior can contribute to the negative impacts of the digital ecosphere. Cyberbullying is never acceptable, even if you find it to be funny or amusing to do so. The person on the receiving end is never deserving of cyberbullying and is likely highly impacted by your actions. If you find yourself in a situation where you cannot help yourself, support is oftentimes available. Finally, try as much as is possible for you to prioritize real-life connections and activities, such as sports, volunteering, or disconnecting in nature, as these unfiltered, real experiences can serve as a better way to set expectations for your own life. If you found that some of the challenges and issues we raised in this video resonate with you, you might be wondering where you can get support. Finding this support can be difficult. The first step could be to reach out to a trusted adult, be it parent or teacher, to ask for help. However, you could also ask your doctor, local youth clubs, or other organizations that may be able to provide specialized support in your area. Alternatively, and rather ironically, you can also find support for this online, via online therapy or other mental health resources, as long as these are coming from a trustworthy source whose work is based on evidence. You can also find safe online communities that can support your well-being. Local, national, or international youth organizations may be able to signpost you towards some of these. For a full list of organizations that might be of help, you can visit the Mental Health Europe website. In closing, it's important to remember that technology is a tool, one you should use as long as it's working for you, not against you. We should all be keenly aware of how algorithms are designed to impact us and keep us engaged, how much this can affect us, how our communities can educate us to protect ourselves better, and how we can push for change at every level. Remember, at the end of the day, the choice should always be yours, though it may not always feel like it. The digital ecosystem does provide the potential to bring about positive impact on our lives and our mental health. But changes are still needed. Know that in this, you are not alone. Organizations such as the ones mentioned earlier in the video are working hard on making sure that digital platforms are held to account for predatory algorithms and its impact on our society. If you enjoyed this content, don't hesitate to check out the rest of the Beyond the Label series and hit the subscribe button to follow for more. Or leave us a comment with your thoughts and feelings on this particular topic.